Alright guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be working on the Dyna, the FXD, and we're going to be becoming a real stunt bike right now. We're going to be doing two things that are crucial to stunt riding. We're going to be doing the motor mount, front motor mount, and a oil pan mod, so that when I'm in the wheelies, the oil is still circulating throughout both cylinders. So I rode the bike, oil's hot, so the first step is just going to be drain the oil, and see when I do that. Look at how black the oil is. Make sure, so the oil pan is right here under the bike, and we need to make sure that we also drain the transmission oil. So we'll do that, and then I need to go buy some brake clean so that I can clean the inside of the oil pan really good. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for this oil to drain. Okay, I decided to change the oil in all three holes, so primary, transmission, and engine oil. So I had to go to the store to get some more oil, but I'm doing the drain plugs now. I'm coating them with the pipe thread right here, and I got new O-rings. They didn't look bad, but you know, might as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I still have to take the oil filter off, and then I think I'm gonna start with the engine mount. So stay tuned for that. All right, so took off the oil filter right here, and the engine mount is going to be right up front right here. Now that it's out of the way, I'll clean it up a little bit because oil spills all over it, and I'm going to have to support the motor up whenever I take the engine mount out. That way I don't strip any threads or anything funky. So I'm going to use that jack over there. I'm going to jack up the motor just a little bit just to put some support on it. That way when I pull the motor mount, the engine doesn't fall down or anything like that. So let me get on that. All right, so there's the motor mount right there. I need to take out these bolts right here. They're 9/16 on each side. There's a nut and a head on the other side. There's two up top, and I gotta take these out right here, which this is a 5/16. Yep. So let me do that. Let me get the motor mount out, and it's supported with the jack right here, so we're good. All right, taking the last bolt out right here. That nut comes off. Here comes last bolt. Boom. Okay, look at that. There goes the motor mount. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, this thing smoked. It's been used quite a bit. Look at the cracking right here. Did not think it's supposed to be like that. Let me look at the new one. Where's that at? Yeah, so look at that. Major cracking right here. I mean, it's all there. Wow, look at all this. It's just been beat up. Definitely the original motor mount from the bike. Thought maybe the other guy might have changed it, but he kind of told me that it's probably the stock one, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah. Overall, really glad I'm making this upgrade. If you can call it upgrade, it's more like maintenance. These Dynas require new motor mounts very often. Some people say every 10,000 miles. I mean, who knows? I'm only doing the front one for the purpose of wheelies, out of necessity, out of not. What happens a lot of time is your motor, like these hard mounts right here, these will just break off, and they'll break like right here when you come down from wheelie really hard. And you have to get them welded back, and it's a real pain. So better off doing the right thing, changing the motor mount, and being on the safe side. I really could have gone with a Big Bear, but they're really expensive, and this one was like a fraction of the price. And I'm also gonna get a case saver. I forgot to mention that. And it's still coming in. Probably should get here in a few days, and I'll do a video on that too. That'll just help whenever the motor, when the motor mount is fully compressed, it'll be like a case saver right here that will hit the motor before it hits the frame and it shears off, whatever. Anyways, it's good to have. I'll do a video on it when I get it. But let me just go ahead and put this new motor mount in, and then I can get started on the oil pan mod. All right, before I put it all back together, I'm gonna clean up my hardware. I wish I could get new stuff, but you know, you gotta use what you got. So I'm gonna use the wire brush, brake clean, and I'm gonna apply some red Loctite, because I do not want these bolts coming out. Anyways, I'm gonna get these cleaned up, put it all back together. Ready, set. All right, and there's the new motor mount in. Red Loctite on the threads. make sure you put this bolt back on here, and I put the oil filter on there as well. So now it's time to crawl underneath the bike and take off this oil pan, which is supposed to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about it. So there's going to be one bolt that we can't reach. I believe it might be the one that I'm looking at right there. It's blocked by the frame. So we are going to have to cut one of our Allen keys, Allen wrenches, to be able to fit in there. You can't fit anything in there. You have to cut it. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit, but let me start on these other ones right here, and I will get back in a little bit. All right, so this is the bolt I was talking about earlier. It's going to be impossible to reach. You can't go underneath it, and you can't quite fit an Allen. I can't really show you, but you can't fit an Allen, at least the short side of an Allen, in there. The short side is too long. So what I have to do is chop off a little bit of the short side of the Allen, make it a little bit shorter. That way I can fit it up in there and take this bolt out. This one was also really hard to get to as well. I don't have any ball point Allens, which made it really hard. Harbor Freight just closed. I was gonna go pick some up, but don't have that. So I think I'm gonna need to take this rear brake rod off. I'm gonna see if I can get around that or not. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna cut this Allen and then try to get this out. All right, so it is the next day. I had to run to the store to get a long ballpoint, 3/16 to get the bolt right here. I already took it out. Here it is. And right now I'm just struggling with the notorious bolt that is very hard to get to. If I can focus. This one right here barely clears the frame. What I had to do is I had to jack up from the oil pan to kind of lift the bike up a little bit, so it gave me a little bit more clearance. And then this rod was in the way too for the brake, so I just unbolted it right here, and it just kind of slid it up, so it's kind of angled out of the way. And I cut the Allen that I was talking about earlier, so now it's nice and stubby, so I can actually get in there and, you know, turn it just like a quarter turn at a time. It's kind of brutal. There's thread locker on there too, so it's brutal. And then eventually I'm gonna have to get in there with needle nose and just kind of finish it off, because the bolt is gonna be about this long. So, you know, it's gonna be, you know, anybody that stunt rides knows that this bolt is notoriously hard to get off. But yeah, wish me luck. I'll check back in when I get this bolt out, or maybe the oil pan off, or I don't know, but we'll see. All right, got the oil pan off and on my workbench. Cleaned it up a little bit with some brake clean and some degreaser. This is the, you know, the bag right here, the oil bag, or the baffle, whatever you want to call it. And then this is the hole. This is the, right in here, this is the oil pickup, right? So I need to basically add a straw to it so that when I'm in a wheelie, the oil pan's like this, the, you know, oil will be able to catch right here and it'll circulate up. So I've got this fitting right here, this pipe fitting, 6 inches long. And then I've got a 1/4 inch 18 MBT pipe thread. Now I'm going to basically create some threads right here in the pickup and screw that pipe in. Probably put some thread locker or whatever. And then I've got to cut the baffle plate like right in the middle so that it'll fit in here flush. So I'll check back in when I get this threaded. It's kind of a, you know, it's gonna take a minute, but I'm gonna lube it up with some WD-40 and then try to keep it as straight as possible. I'll check back in once I got this threaded. All right, so I tapped the hole, and now I'm putting in the brass fitting. I put some pipe thread tape, plumber's tape, whatever, and now I'm screwing this in, and I'm going to tighten it down with a pair of pliers. These right here. And then I've got to put this seal right here back in, make sure it's all clean and stuff, and then I got to cut the baffle plate. So I'll check back in a little bit. All right, we're looking good. The baffle is nice and cut. Doesn't look pretty, but it fits with the new pipe. So put that in there, sits nice and flush. Here's a little tip: if you're struggling with getting the gasket on, you can put zip ties on here, not too tight. And then when you go to line it up, you cut these right here. It just makes it easier to make sure the gasket doesn't get all wonky. All right, anyways, I'm gonna put this on, and then struggled with that one bolt, I guess, for a little while. All right, so I went ahead and buttoned everything up, got the oil pan on, super easy. That one bolt was hard to get to, but you know, you just had to struggle same way I got it off. Topped off the fluids, primary, transmission, and engine oil. Now it's time to start it, take a test ride. It is 95 degrees and I am sweating, so thanks for watching. This is the oil pan mod and front motor mount. All right, peace.